how to lower your refund rates. If you're an online business, you're probably losing a ton of money on customer refunds and complaints and giving customers their money back. So today I'm going to talk to you on how to ensure you keep your refund rates as low as possible so you can keep more profits in your business. My name is Maria Sparagas. I help thousands of merchants figure out their payment processing and give them great tips on how to make more money in their checkout process. And today, I really want to talk to you about refund rates. We talk a lot about chargebacks and disputes and so forth, but there is another hidden cost of losses in online businesses, and that's refunds. And refunds are growing tremendously. Consumers are finding it very simple and very quick to get their money back. They have buyer's remorse and, threaten chargebacks and then just go and get a refund. So if your refund rates, are over a couple of percent, then this is going to be very important for you because I'm going to give you some quick tips. And at the end, I'm going to tell you the most important thing that you're going to need to be doing in your online shop to prevent people from refunding. And it works every single time. So if you have an online business and you are trying to avoid chargebacks or disputes because those come with an extra cost, now you may have been just straight out refunding customers and just to avoid the dispute, which is a good practice, but obviously that comes with you losing perhaps 5, 10, I've even seen 15, 20% refund rates in certain businesses. And I mean, if your margins are, even 30%, that's a big part of your margin. You want to keep as much of that money in your pocket and in your business so you can grow and be able to market more and make more sales. Now, inevitably, refunds are a part of life, just like chargebacks and disputes are. You'll never have zero refund rate. You'll never have zero chargebacks. There's always going to be some customers who complain or who find your product doesn't fit their needs or order too much, order, something that doesn't suit their needs. So keep in mind that having some refunds and having some chargebacks will happen. The goal here is to minimize them. Now, most direct response businesses or direct to consumer businesses, a refund rate of below 5% is fairly good. Ideally you try to aim for 3, but if you're under 5, there's a couple little things that you can do, obviously, to get it closer to 3, but you're, aiming for under 3% is going to be very, very tough. And this is just from my experience. I work with a lot of different merchants and, the ones who are doing all the right things and all the steps I'm going to outline below are usually at around the 3% mark. So if you're at the 3% mark, you're pretty much on target with your refund rate. And you can definitely do a couple of things to tweak, but it probably won't get much better than that. Now, let's dive right into a couple of things that you should be doing to ensure that your refund rate is not 10% or 20% and so forth. So there are definitely a lot of things that you could be doing right now. Now, one thing that you can do is an online cancellation form. If you're selling to customers online, you should give them the option of canceling a membership or product or service delivery online as well. I'll link an episode down below about me discussing the FTC's new regulations, and the FTC in 2024 sometime is going to make it mandatory for merchants to provide customers a way to cancel their membership the same way they bought it, which means if you have a product or service that is online and people are buying online, you should give them the option to cancel that membership or product or service delivery online as well. So this is going to eventually come. It's a good idea to get ahead of the curve. Now you're wondering, well, how is this going to help my refunds? It's going to help your refunds tremendously because if you make it easy for people to cancel, number one, it's going to reduce your customer complaints, your disputes, and so forth. And number two, if somebody doesn't want your product or service, you cannot fool them into keeping it. Eventually, they'll get upset and they might charge back, 3 or 4 months of your subscription, or they may demand a refund, or say that you're a scammer, give you a bad reputation. So at this point, the easiest thing for you to do is when somebody wants to cancel is to give them the option to quickly cancel online and be able to stop their membership. That way, they may not necessarily stay as a customer, but what you're going to do is you're going to prevent a refund, prevent a chargeback, of course, and you're not going to have to refund anything in the past. They're just saying, don't charge me again in the future. Another opportunity with this type of thing is, if you're a marketer at heart, which most people in direct response and people who have online businesses have marketing resources, you can use this as a marketing tactic. What I mean is you don't necessarily just have to have a, hey, do you want to cancel now? Thank you. Yes, you can make it a small funnel. Obviously, you don't want to make it too long or too much of a difficult process for your customers to cancel, but you can ask a few questions, maybe gather some information for your, future marketing, or you can also ask a few questions which can lead into offering the customer another product or service, or maybe an affiliate offer that you can promote to them to buy. So, obviously these are things that you need to test out. So you can take this opportunity to test this before it becomes a law with the FTC and something that you have to follow, get ahead of the curve. And at the same time, merchants and businesses who are most flexible and who do things to benefit customers in the end always win. So keep this in mind. Don't see this as a negative having to do this. I can tell you from experience, a lot of the merchants that I work with have already implemented this and are seeing lower customer service costs, less customer, complaints and irritation, and they're saving more customers with an intelligent funnel or a small quiz than they would having customers wait online to speak to an agent. By the time somebody waits 5 or 10 minutes to speak to somebody that may or may not be knowledgeable on the product, they're probably already upset and they're just going to want to cancel and maybe even want some money back. So keep that in mind. Figure out a way to have an online cancellation funnel or mini funnel built and test it out and see how you can make it a profit center instead of a cost or, a way that you're losing money, right? Now, moving on from this, when customers want to cancel, like I said, give them the option to cancel quickly. Another thing that you can do is to test your checkout process. Now, if you've had your business for a while, or if you've been operating for a while, you haven't probably actively tested, I recommend that you do a full funnel test at least once a month. Now, I wouldn't say that you as a business owner do it yourself. I would say perhaps you can have a secret shopper, a friend, a family member, somebody who really doesn't know how to use your website or your product or service, because then they'll break it a little bit more easily so you can know what needs to be fixed and you'll see kind of what a typical customer might do to buy your product. So have them, go and buy the product till the end and then tell you what emails they received, what communication they received, what, for example, might have confused them in the checkout flow and so forth. Now, what this is going to do is obviously it's going to gather some intelligence for you. You're also going to see if people, for example, your secret shopper doesn't get an email confirmation receipt or doesn't get instructions on how to download a product, for example, if it's a digital product, or doesn't get any information on when their product is going to be shipped and so forth. That is, obviously key. You need to inform your customers what to expect, when they'll expect it. If they need a login to access some kind of content, then you need to send it to them. And if you are often marked as spam, then one of your biggest priorities, if you're landing in the spam or in the promo tab, is to work to get your email reputation and your domain to better deliverability results, right? Because not a lot of people check their spam folder. I'm guilty of that. I don't really check it very often. So I could miss a couple of things, but at the end of the day, if I miss something from a product or service that I bought and I feel like it wasn't fulfilled, I'm going to go back and get a refund, or, if I can't get in touch with the business, then I'm going to have to go do a chargeback, right? So, keep in mind that, you have to post-purchase have to inform the customer of what to expect, when to expect it, and to be able to get the necessary information to use your product effectively. If you don't do that, or if you just assume that they're getting it, obviously this could be a major problem. So have a testing process in place, ideally at least once a month, to make sure everything's working properly, emails are getting sent, access is being granted, people are able to get the product or service that they bought from you. Now, building on that, sending email confirmations and product delivery information is very important. if you are selling a physical product and, for example, you are encountering delays or your backstock or, an order was not delivered, you need to make sure that you have emails going out to customers, or you communicate with your customer either by phone, text, or email, whatever way you think is more effective to contact your customer. If a customer is awaiting for a package, usually, between 3 and 5 business days is pretty standard for a US local delivery. Anything beyond that is probably going to cause a problem if you're delivering to US customers. Outside of the US and in different parts of the world, that might go to 10 days. But in general, if you're selling to Americans, they are used to the Amazon way of fulfillment, and anything that goes beyond that will likely cause returns and, complaints and so forth. So if you have fulfillment outside of the US and you're selling to Americans, that business model, drop shipping and so forth, is slowly dying because the refund rates are very, very high. So if, you start out with drop shipping and you see that you have, some traction and so forth, highly recommend, local fulfillment, because it will improve your business. It will lower your refund rates. Customers do not want to get their credit card statement without a product being delivered. So if I order something today and 2 weeks, I get my credit card statement, I see I was charged for that product and I did not receive it, the likeliness of a complaint or a refund request is exponentially higher than if I received it within, the 3 to 5 business days that most people wait for an item to come. Now, if it gets to the point where a customer is actually, requesting a refund, he's not happy and so forth, it's important to train your customer service staff correctly. A decision tree is very effective in training customer service and giving them the correct tools they need to save customers and to avoid refunds and so forth. So what I mean by that is if yes, then do this. If no, then do that, and so forth. Just the common use cases. So, for example, if a customer says, I'm not happy with this product or service, I want my money back, I don't want to work with you, or I don't want to listen to this content or get this product. First things first, thank them for their business, tell them that you're going to cancel their membership, and then ask them, if you can give them 2 months free access or send them a product for free or anything like that to avoid the refund. The refund is going to cost you more money than, for example, giving somebody access for an extra month or two to a digital program or sending them an extra bottle of a product they bought. It will be a lot cheaper for you to do that than to process a refund. So if there's anything that you can do other than processing a refund, it's important that you coach your customer service staff and team to not just hi, how are you, Mr. So-and-so? Here's your money back. Like, you have to have a little bit of a conversation. And many times clients are open to getting free product or getting longer access without being charged and so forth. So have those options available. Don't discount that they work. I've seen it many, many times. People, lower their refund percentages by a couple of percent just by using this tactic. So now, as I promised, this is the biggest one and the most important thing that you should be doing to lower your refunds. And this is going to probably not surprise you, but I will tell you this because I see a lot of merchants and online businesses that do not follow this practice. And what it is really to review your copy. So review your copy, review your marketing material. Are you targeting the correct person for your product or service? Is it something that the market that you're selling to needs or wants or, can make use of? If the answer is no, if your refunds and your chargebacks are out of control, then there's obviously a disconnect. Either you have to go back to your product and rework it to make sure that it's adapted to the market that you're selling to, or, kind of work your way backwards and say, what, this is a good product, this is working, but this is the wrong demographic or the wrong market. I should be selling it here and there, and then you should be doing some testing. At the end of the day, if you have, 10 or 15% refunds and a chargeback rate of 2 or 3% with all the fees and the costs, you have to keep in mind that your margins are just getting, more and more reduced and non-existent. So it's not just a matter of selling and selling and selling and converting. It's also a matter of retention and how many people are going to stay on board and how many people are going to say, this is a good product, this helped me, and refer you to other customers. Customer referrals are huge. If, it's one of the biggest mechanisms that people use to get customers. I use the product, I use the service, I really liked it. I tell my friend, I tell 2 or 3 other people, they go and buy it. And, that can mushroom to a lot of free marketing and free advertising. So don't discount, really looking at your marketing, looking at your copy, and testing new demographics if you think that your marketing, your copy is strong. But also, if it's not and there's tweaks that you should be doing on your product or service, then this is the time to do it. I mean, these refunds can get out of hand and can quash your business quite quickly. So I think gone are the days of, free trials with hidden rebills and so forth. Consumers are more educated now to the online space. They know how to use online products and services. They know their rights. They know they can get chargebacks. So, it will catch up to you sooner rather than later. The cycle of these very high refund, high chargeback businesses is shortening. I see, a couple of years back, we used to see these offers run 18 to 24 months. Now we're down to like 6 to 12 months. This is definitely not a business that will create longevity for you if you're not responding to the market and not listening to your customers. So take a look at your copy, see what you're promising, and if your product is delivering that promise, and use all the other tips above, like I told you, to lower your refund rate. And I'm sure you can use 2 or 3% extra money in your business. So I'm guaranteeing you that these tips will definitely lower your refunds and get more money in your pocket. If you want more tips on how to save money for your business or how to keep more money and more profit in your business, please give me a like and a follow below. And don't forget, write me any questions, anything that you want to know, and I'd be happy to feature it on the next episode. Have yourself a great day.